Hey everybody. So I look at a lot of politics online, and you know, whether it's the Democrats or Republicans, it really doesn't matter to me. But one thing I've noticed is that when I'm looking at these town halls, I see all of these voters and stuff. I see a lot of these voters are not happy, even if it's the Democrats or Republicans. Like, a lot of voters in America are not happy, and you see them express themselves to their local politicians or whoever is in politics in that area. And one of the things that is always interesting, when I think about it, is, are politicians actually listening to you? And what I mean by that is, if politicians were actually listening to the voters, I don't care if you're from Michigan, I don't care if you're from California, like, if they were listening to the voters in their area, in their city, in their state, then there wouldn't be so much anger in America as far as, politics and what's going on. And, there's a huge disconnect, because it's just like, as soon as they go to Washington, D.C., it's like they almost ignored the voters that put them into power, and then, just morph into something else. And it's really sad and it's baffling, because all politicians really have to do is listen to the folks that voted for them. Like, that's all they have to do. Even if you look at Donald Trump, it's just like, there's a lot of folks that are not happy with Donald Trump. There's some that are happy, but for the folks that aren't happy with Donald Trump, they're saying, well, Donald Trump isn't keeping some of his campaign promises. And again, you even look at Donald Trump. All he has to do, or any president, is listen to the people that put you into power. Listen to the voters. If the voters are telling you they want this done, all you have to do is do it. But it's like, as soon as folks get to Washington, they turn their back on the folks that put them into power. And it's very sad. And I just see it happen every election cycle, or every time a politician goes up and, says, oh, well, I'm here to change Washington and do all this other stuff. They almost become like the folks they're talking about. Every campaign ad, if you notice, is, I'm going to change Washington. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And as soon as they get to Washington, I don't know if it's, something, in the tap water out there or something, but every time they get to Washington, they totally transform into something else. If it's, I don't care if it's a president, a senator, just anyone, man, woman, something about going to Washington changes a lot of politicians. And I think some politicians need to get back to basics and say, you know what, let me go back, take out a notebook and write down, what my voters want me to do. That's all they have to do. Like, a lot of elected officials make things hard on themselves. Like, all you have to do is listen to people. That's all you have to do. Or even if you're a president, go around America and really listen to people. Like, they always say, oh, I'm going on a listening tour, and you always see them talking with folks, but are they listening? Like, it's easy to talk and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but someone might come up to you and say they need their road paved. Well, guess what? If you're a local politician, pave the roads. Like, to me, it's very simple. I'm not a politician. I'm not running for elected office, but it just seems like if they would listen, it wouldn't make things so complicated. And, with the Republican Party, with Donald Trump being in office right now, I'd say to Republicans, and again, I voted for Donald Trump in this election, but Republicans can't get cocky, because if Republicans get arrogant and say, oh, well, you know what? We have the election, people are on our side, we can do what we want. You might look up and see Democrats get back into power. And when Democrats get back into power, they're going to say, well, you know what? Donald Trump signed all these executive orders. We're going to do this executive orders for liberal things. We're going to, have it so illegal immigrants can come back, or however, whatever they decide to do with immigration. Like, they're going to do something crazy, but, they can always say, what, Donald Trump came in and signed executive orders, or he didn't listen to the Supreme Court when, we asked him to listen to the Supreme Court and get, the senators involved and stuff like that. Like, they're going to say, you know what, Donald Trump did it, so why can't we? And so that's why Republicans really have to be careful and say, okay, yeah, they elected Donald Trump in 2024, but that doesn't mean they're going to elect J.D. Vance. I mean, in 2028, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, that's why people need to remember, especially Republicans, Donald Trump is like Donald Trump. And he's a person where, yeah, people support him, but it doesn't mean they support the Republican Party. A lot of these Republicans that voted for Donald Trump and these independents, they might switch over and become Democrats again. Like, you never know. And so it's the Republicans really have to keep that in mind. Like, same thing is, I remember it happened with Barack Obama, where people thought, oh, well, since Obama's in, then all the Democrats it's going to be a clean sweep for the Democrats to win all the time. It's like, no, they supported Barack Obama. They don't necessarily support all the other politicians. And so that's the mistake Republicans can't make again. They can't sit back and get lazy and say, well, you know what? The Democrats are doing such a bad job that it's going to be easy for us. Because I've lived long enough where I know in politics things can go back and forth, left and right, Republican and Democrat in an election cycle. And so you might think, oh, well, the Democrats, they're not really doing anything. They're not fixing anything. All it takes is these young people to mobilize and go to the polls, and a close election can change everything. And so I would say to Republicans, have that same energy and that same commitment that you did to Donald Trump. Also have it with other Republican politicians that are actually doing something, like people you support. And so, those that, I know I'm rambling, but, I just had to get that off my chest about, the Republican Party and just politics in general. Like I said, are politicians listening to you? And so in the comment section, let me know if politicians are listening to you. And what I mean by that is, are they really paying attention to the things that American people are concerned about? Are they paying attention to what you're concerned about? Or do you think politicians just care about power and that's it? So let me know in the comment section. Thank you.